If you just give me about 12 minutes, watch this video, and you will learn how watching this video is going to change the rest of your life. Let's get into this video. I was going to go over the butterfly effect. Now, the butterfly effect is a little part that kind of stems off from chaos theory, but I'm not going to really explain chaos theory in this video because it gets really confusing. But the butterfly effect, as you've heard before, a butterfly flaps its wings in the Gobi Desert and it causes a tornado in Japan or just something like that. But obviously, we've got enough butterflies running around flapping wings, and that would mean that if I do this, I'm going to cause a tsunami. But that's the premise of it. And so you can't look at the butterfly theory as a prediction of what's going to happen, but you can look at it as events leading up to a certain situation. Let's say that a woman gets into a car wreck. Now, you ever watch TV and it'll have something that really captures you and you're like, oh, what happened in this series that I was watching? And then it'll say, 2 weeks later in flashback, and it'll show all the events. Now, if something wrong were to happen in those events or something differently, the outcome would be completely different. And this is the idea of the butterfly effect. And so let's say a woman got in a car crash. It wasn't fatal. It was just like out on a normal 40, 50 mile an hour road. And so she gets in a car wreck, but rewind to that morning. Let's say she's arguing with her husband. He's in the shower. She needs to go get gas before they leave, but she's tired of waiting on him. So she just says, fine, whatever. I'm going to run to the gas station while you're in the shower. She goes to the gas station. She's taking long because someone up there is counting change. And every second is leading up to the moment, of course, we already know, to her car wreck. And so she's counting the change. She walks out the door after paying for her thing, gas, whatever she got, and she drops her keys on the way out. Then she gets back into her car after grabbing the keys, of course, drives home, picks up her husband, and they go for it. And then, of course, the car wreck happens. Now, if she hadn't dropped her keys, would the car wreck still have happened? Could it have delayed whatever happened in a few seconds? Well, of course, in a car wreck, it is somebody's fault, but both lives had years and years and years of events that led them up to that one moment meeting up, which is called synchronicity. Everybody's had synchronicity, whether you're thinking of a thought and it reminds you of something, and you see a truck pass. We've seen this in movies before where, the guy's sad and on a breakup and he keeps changing the radio station and it keeps popping up with breakup songs. And then, the guy's thinking about something and then a truck passes and it says whatever he was thinking about on it. This has happened to all of us. And so all these seemingly random events aren't so random as the butterfly effect or chaos theory states. Now, you can't really track random. It's, as I said before, it's almost as looking at events leading up to the certain situation. Now that I've talked about the butterfly effect a little bit, let's talk about synchronicity. Whenever you are manifesting your desires or wills, but you got to turn it into a will first, you can't manifest a desire, synchronicity will be a result of the manifestation. It will kind of let you know, like, hey, you attracted this, you brought this about. If you've watched the How to Manifest Anything, I kind of went over the basic equation of will plus imagination equals whatever you want. And so after you do this, it's going to come about in a normal way. Let's say you've meditated or you've said over and over that I have $2,000, I have $2,000. Now something may happen that causes something to happen, causes something else to happen, and you end up somewhere where you win $2,000. It's going to come across in a normal way. It's going to come to you that way. And so how can we apply this? Well, after you've been trying to manifest whatever it is you're trying to manifest, start noticing things. Start being aware of your surroundings. Whenever you're going on a walk or doing whatever you're usually doing, don't stay on your phone the whole time, because also synchronicities can happen on your phone. So don't stay too on the phone but too off, but just be aware. If you're on the phone, be aware of what's going on around you, little sounds, things like that. And so you'll start to pick up these things, especially if you filter in the positive and negative thoughts. You can get your head straight and out of the past and notice what's in front of you. There was a video by Darren Brown. It was like a 45-minute video on the secret behind luck. And those who were looking for it, in a sense, and saw that it was a possibility had more luck than someone who didn't. And they would put a dollar bill, or they put like a $100 bill on the ground somewhere in front of this one guy's job. And this guy, he told everyone, I'm so unlucky. He kept telling himself, I'm unlucky, I'm unlucky. So then, of course, reality came back at him with, well, you're unlucky. And so they test to see this. And they put dollar bills in just plain sight. And he's not even on his phone. He's just walking down the road. And he doesn't even notice any of them because he can't see them. So filter in the thoughts and stop saying I can't and start saying you can. And you'll start noticing all these synchronicities. As I've said before in my 3 tips to de-stress yourself video, that once you start doing these things will just go good for you. Things will just happen at the right time. Now, let me give you an example of a synchronicity I had. This wasn't too long ago. Now, let me explain a little bit before. So, I was using the formula I did in the manifest video to manifest this certain car that I wanted. I didn't know that it was the car I wanted. I just visualized the way it looked. And I ended up manifesting a car that looked exactly the way that I was thinking of it looking like. But that's not the synchronicity of it. Well, that is a synchronicity, but the banger comes in later. And so they let me take the car home for a few days before, coming and signing and everything like that. And the next Monday, when I have to go to the bank to go take out the loan for this new Sentra that I bought, I go to get in the car to leave that morning. Now, I'm not one to enjoy driving on interstates. If I have a way to take a highway or a back road, if you know what I mean, I'll take it. I'm just not an interstate guy. I mean, I'd do it for speed, usually, but that's about it, and it randomly ever happens. So either way, I don't like driving on the interstate, especially long distances, because I got this car out of town. Now, I get in the car, and this is just after I moved into my new place, and so we're about a fresh month in. We haven't been out to eat at all because we've been very busy, and we've been eating at home more often than we ever have. And I get in the car, and there's a fortune cookie on the passenger seat. Now, it was upside down. And so I thought it was trash, and I brushed it off. And I go to roll down my windows, turn on my car, turn on, everything. And I look over, and it's still there. And I'm like, what is this? And so I flip it over, and it says, "The road ahead of you is long. Drive safely." Now, I think that was a synchronicity in a physical sense and a mental sense, because I was going out to take a loan for about $20,000, right? And this is at the age of 19, so this is a long road for me. Drive safe, be careful, make sure you're making the right decision. And once I got there, I had more synchronicities that I am making the right decision, which you'll notice these things and you'll figure out what you need to do and you'll just glide straight through. And this is how it works. And so me and my girlfriend had not been to any Chinese place at all. We hadn't even been out to eat at all in like a month or two. It was a good long while. And so when it said this, I also thought of it, as I said, mentally, but also physically, because I don't like interstates. The road ahead of you is long, so drive safely. And so I thought that was a pretty cool synchronicity. That's just one of my most recent ones. There's a lot of other ones, but they're more, I'd say, personal, and I would need an entire video to explain this. But of the ones that I can quickly explain, this is the most recent. I'll probably tell you some more in other videos. But I want to move on because this video is starting to trail on. So we know that every moment that's ever happened is leading us up to this one point that we're at here right now. And so you must understand that where you are right now is leading you to whatever's next. Now, think about your favorite person, the closest person to you in your life right now. Now, you wouldn't have met them if one day, 10 years before you met them, you took a left turn to work rather than a right turn to work. According to the butterfly effect. It's like in movies when they go back into the past and they change one minor thing, like they left a door open in the house, and then they come back and their father's dead, their spouse is with a whole nother person, they have 4 children out of nowhere, and it changes everything, like a ripple effect. And so, as you're going about and as you're manifesting what you want, you'll start to get thoughts, especially after you start filtering them. You'll hear the ones, you'll figure out what to listen to and what not. You will grow the intuition. It's there inside of you and has been dormant for a very long time until you start cracking it open. And so notice little thoughts that, maybe I should turn left here. Or, when you accidentally turn the wrong way and you're like, I was supposed to turn straight. I don't know why I turned this way. Well, that's leading up for a specific moment. Now, also when you're in traffic, if someone in front of you is going 5 under, which I know that's the most annoying thing, think about what if that is saving your life from something that happened in the future. I'll give a good example. On 9/11, one of the guys that was supposed to be at work was kind of pissed because he had to go and buy donuts for everyone on his floor because it was his time of the week to go buy donuts or whatever for the entire staff. And so, he ended up being late for work. Now, this saved his life because around whatever time that they got hit and he wasn't there. Now, I think there's about 12 other stories of 9/11 synchronicities. You can look them up. I don't know if they'll pop up because I read these back 6-7 years ago. But either way, he woke up and was not looking forward to it. Oh, I got to spend all this money. And also, I got to get up earlier to go get the donuts fresh to get to work. And then he's also late. So the entire time he's there, he's in a negative state in his head. The world around him is negative. But guess what? It saved his life. And that's why I say don't take things as positive or negative because you don't know what it's leading you up to. Kind of stay right in the middle and just be an observer. Be aware. And this little trick will save your life. Just being aware and not judging the current situation. Even when things are seemingly wrong, don't judge the situation because you don't know what it's leading up to. Now, this video is trailing on. I want you all to go over to my Facebook page and give it a like at Wealth and Prosperity 3. And also, I'm going to be making the part 2 of the How to Manifest Anything video, and then I'm also going to do the third part of the happiness track pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. Right here is going to be my How to Manifest Anything video in case you missed it. Click right here and make sure you hit the bell so that you get all the notifications. And then right here will be my last video. Be sure to check it out. Subscribe, of course, as I said. And have a great day.